Yeah, we should color it.
That was my favorite thing on soccer
Take us the wrong way.
But they do take us.
Welcome to the reception of Mr. and Mrs. Alex Canel. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy lives to come and celebrate with these special people.
Bienvenue à tous. Nous sommes tellement heureux que vous êtes venus pour célébrer cette occasion joyeuse avec Alex et Jess.
My name is Carrie. I am Jessica's sister-in-law, and this is Josh, my husband, Jessica's brother.
Ça c'est Carrie. Oui, ok. Ça c'est Carrie, ma femme. Puis moi je suis Josh, le frère à Jessica.
We'd like to take a minute and introduce the wedding party. We have bridesmaid Michelle Powley, is that correct?
Michelle Cantley! Hey!
Maid of honor is Kimberly Manalili, friend of the bride. And Michelle's a friend too, I just forgot to say that. And then we have the best man, Kevin Sylvester. And as lovely and wonderful as these people are, they are not who you came to see. So one more time, may I introduce to you the bride and the groom, Mr. and Mrs. Alex and Jessica. So on your way in, you may have noticed the marriage rocks. There's a basket of them there. If you haven't already signed those rocks, this is Alex and Jess's guest book. So if you can take the time to sign that and show them some love on that, I'm sure they would greatly appreciate it.
Les roches à signer sont là-bas. C'est comme un livre d'invité, mais Alex et Jess veulent que chaque personne signe une roche au lieu d'un livre d'une page. Fait que signe une roche ce soir, OK? Avec ton nom. Les bisous ou s'embrasser.
No?
OK.
So we want to make Jess and Alex kiss, and there is a game tonight.
No.
Not that easy. So, can you turn that side around? So if you want Jess and Alex to kiss, you have to throw. Wait a minute, attends un moment.
C'est qui a fait le first move?
Who is the better driver?
Qui conduit?
Who is the most creative?
Qui est plus créateur?
Match. Who is better with money?
Qui est mieux avec l'argent?
Who is more romantic?
Qui est plus romantique?
Who said I love you first?
Qui a dit?
Who says I love you most often?
Qui dit le plus souvent je t'aime?
Who is the first to say I'm sorry?
Qui est le premier à s'excuser?
Who was the bigger geek at school? Who is better at keeping secrets?
Qui est le meilleur à garder le secret?
Who is the more spontaneous one?
Qui est plus spontané?
Who is most likely to give the other food poisoning?
Qui serait celui qui pourrait empoisonner l'autre?
Who is the bigger flirt?
Qui est le plus grand flirt?
Who wears the pants in the relationship?
Dans la relation.
She's got pants underneath though.
Who is more likely to drop their phone in the toilet?
Lequel pourrait échapper le téléphone dans la toilette?
Tossing the phone in the bathroom? Who is more likely to be running late?
En retard.
To the wedding.
Me, but I was really slow.
Who is more likely to ask for directions?
Qui va demander pour les directions?
Ah, you disagree. Who controls the TV remote?
Qui contrôle le quoi? Le télécommande.
YouTube video.
Excusez-moi. Hein? Who is the better kisser?
Oh, qui est le meilleur à embrasser?
Who is always right?
Qui a toujours raison?
Now hold the other one up, Alex, quick.
Who did more wedding planning?
Alex, le plus de mariage.
3 more. Who is more stubborn?
Qui est plus têtu?
Who will be the first one with their clothes off tonight?
Qui va être le premier à enlever ses vêtements ce soir? the world? Qui aimez-vous le plus au monde?
Give them a hand.
So yeah, for sure. I'm Kevin, and I met Alex in 2006. So I had no idea who I was going to be roommate with in university, but we had a small prison cell sized double room, and it was going to be 2 people in there. I was a little worried when I saw he had a suitcase in there with Paris, France tags on it, and I thought a Parisian might be a little much for a Calgarian. So I was excited to find out he was from Ontario. But I knew we'd be friends the first moment I met him. We had just shaken hands when he came in the room and introduced ourselves, when the thermostat made a sound, and he dropped into a perfect ninja combat stance directly at it. And I knew this was the right kind of guy. He's prepared for anything. All right. So yeah, later in that year, we decided we would have a full-on banquet. We'd gotten through our first midterm exams, and we deserved it. It was, you know, we'd accomplished something. It was fantastic. So we ordered in some Chinese food, and we had a table. This is the first party I saw him host. It's not nearly as elaborate as this, but I see how it built up to that. We had a table about 1 square foot, and we managed to squeeze in 2 full table settings of paper plates, plastic knives and forks, and little cups, and had takeout Chinese, full proper banquet in that.
We ate like kings that night.
Like kings. It was fantastic. And then the next year, we were doing one of Alex's favorite things. We were playing with fire. At first we were, I think we were trying to see if slightly damp paper towel would burn, if memory serves. But neither of us can remember what we were trying to set on fire. At first we had it in a plastic garbage can, and we were going to try to light this wet paper towel on fire inside the house with hairspray and a lighter. We thought better of it and eventually switched to the toilet on the second floor. Now watch out for this, Jess. I'm going to warn you something about Alex. He is very fast on his feet when he needs to be, and he can tell a decent lie. We had this, again, I can't vouch for certain what it was, but I think it was damp paper towel. We were seeing if it was dry enough to burn. And during our experiments, we set off the fire alarm. Alex and Anthony, who we were doing with, set off the fire alarm. And of course, Alex came out saying, I don't know. It could be anything. I think it's out of batteries, maybe. We should change those. So yeah, he got away with that. So watch out, Jess. He's a crafty one.
A little late now.
Yeah, he's already tricked you. I'm sorry.
A little warning.
All right. Well, I'm sorry to say all of the other wonderful stories I have for him simply cannot be told around children or family members. I've got a mountain of them. If you corner me later and ask me in private, I can tell you all about them.
Wow!
I'd be happy to. I'd be thrilled to. But otherwise, I think I'll be handing the mic off now. Hey, girl!
The Notebook with Ryan Gosling. See how that works?
So you'll get to see Ryan Gosling while I do my speech.
So dreamy.
And so I know I had to prepare this speech, and it's funny because you think that, it should be really easy, right? Like, Jess is my nearest and dearest friend, but somehow it was just still so hard. And I was actually telling Alex and Jess the other day that I was in the Bridgehead on Thursday morning trying to write this speech. And I had my latte and my snack, and I was getting ready to go in the Ryan Gosling notebook. And I just started thinking about how much Jess means to me and how important this is that she's moving into this new phase in her life. And I just got so overwhelmed with emotion that I just started weeping in Bridgehead. And the guy sitting next to me, he just got so uncomfortable that he left. I didn't think he finished his coffee, he just saw tears, and he left. So I have to make this relatively quick because you're going to see just a giant crying baby up here, and I'm going to make you all uncomfortable. So anyways, I've known Jess for about 6 years, and we met in Niger when we were doing our internship. And so Niger in West Africa. And it might seem sort of cliche, but it really was just this humbling, amazing experience, and it was life-changing. And we went through a lot, and I'd have to say, personally for me, it was the time that I think that I grew up. That was when I became an adult. I had grown so much personally and spiritually, and it was a lot of it had to do with Jess. She was there challenging me, and she helped me sleep in the bush for 5 months, and I could not have done that without her. And I really value that time. And it's that time in Niger with Jess was really, in a sense, it's because of who I am today that happened. And even though we've lived apart for almost these whole 6 years, except for the 1 year that I lived here in Ottawa. But Jess has consistently just been my soul friend. And it's that, I think it's rare that you find a person that is that really gets to know who you are and who understands that and who knows what's in your heart. And, she's been such a wonderful, amazing friend who's been my confidant. And even though these 6 years have passed by, life happened, a lot of life happened, and she was always there. Whenever some boy broke my heart, every 6 months. Right? All the time. And I just really respect her for the person that she is, and just her ability to maintain this real and genuine character that I think is, it's not common. Sorry to say, everyone. But yeah, and I just, Jess has been just such a blessing to my life, and I'm so happy to be a part of today. And it's such an honor to be here among all of the people that she and Alex love. And I'm so glad that the two of you, that you found each other and that you chose each other. I think that you're both just amazing people, and you're certainly the byproduct of two beautiful families that just have so much kindness and generosity. And it's so evident that it's been instilled in you. And I have this full confidence that when you start your new family, that you'll just pass that along. And I don't really know what else to say. I actually didn't end up reading from this. I guess just that I love you guys, and I wish you all the best. And I think I'd just like to toast to you, if you don't mind. So just to a life shared, life with all of its good times and its bad times and its craziness. But I hope that you guys continue to grow in love, just grow together. So to Jess and Alex.
Hey, girl.
Asked us to say a few words. He had one suggestion. He said it should be brief. And so we pared it down.
Oh my God!
And they're in order, so this is critical. We'll just go from where we start. Chère famille et amis, merci beaucoup d'être avec nous ce soir pour célébrer cette occasion très spéciale pour Alex et Jess. Many of you traveled great distance to be here with us today to make this a very special day for Alex and Jess. Special welcome to Jess's parents, Suzanne. Oh my gosh, Moni. Memory bullet here. Over the years, Alex has provided Donna, Danielle, Chantal, and I with a lot of joy, a lot of happiness. His ability to persevere will undoubtedly continue to be a great quality of his. Alex is very patient, and above all, always willing to help. We're very proud of him. As some of you may know, Alex enjoys to take on new projects. Some of them are safer than others. From origami art to knitting with his grandma. Up to now, I have no problem. That's pretty safe. Mastering new duck calls recently. To fiddling with bike mechanics. Always searching for a new challenge. So going back a few years, one night when Alec came back from work during a summer job, and he asked me if I thought he could change brakes on a car. I said, well, Alex, in theory, changing brakes is not that complicated. But with brakes, things usually never work out the way you expect. For that, he said, actually, I watched a YouTube. It's not complicated. He said, I think I can do that. Now, I thought, well, okay, maybe in the yard someday he'll try that. I'll be around. So I never thought much more about it. And a few days later, Alex called us at supper time to say he wouldn't be back for supper. He'd be back later. Because he was changing brakes in a friend's car at work. So
Better friends.
Anyway, I told him I wasn't sure it was such a good idea. It sounded, as a parent, it sounded like it was too late to really say, no, don't do this. This was going to happen. So he was going to change the brakes. So I said, if you run into any problem, just give us a call. So that night, Donna and I got to meet Jess. And the following evening, we had Jess's car in our driveway. Alex, Jess, and I rushed to finish installing new pads and rotors as the sun was setting and darkness at the door. Needless to say, we've had the pleasure of having Jess's visits many times since. Jess, it's been a pleasure getting to know you over the past few years. Your sense of adventure, your resourcefulness, your pleasant disposition are just some of the many qualities that you possess and make you the remarkable young woman that you are. During the time we've known you, we've come to realize, from sharing a humorous moment together on a tricycle. My dad just reminded me where that tricycle still is. Collaboratively to follow through on the vegetable garden project, despite the many challenges that this season posed. You're encouraging and supporting one another as you work toward your academic and career goals. Alex is very fortunate to have such a special person to share his life with. Donna and I, as well as Chantal and Danielle, are thrilled to formally welcome you into our family. Grab a glass, maybe fill it up.
Over the glass.
We've been hanging out this evening, see? And we move on. Jess and Alex. Glasses to Jess and Alex. Do it again.
Circulating at the back of my head, but I wasn't told that I was going to make a speech. It's there. I'm going to yank it out and deliver it. I don't know if Suzanne has had the same experience. Yes, no? Okay, so ladies first, I'll let you go first.
Well, apparently my daughter is telling me that she told me and I don't remember. So that's old age. So please forgive me. But it was at Thanksgiving time, that Alex came to visit us for the first time. Jessica said that she had met someone and they were going to have a long distance relationship, and I said, oh boy, we need to pray for that one. And she say, I said, how are you going to make it work? And she said, Mom, if it's going to happen, then it's going to happen. If it's, you know, what's planned for me. And I must tell you that we fell in love with Alex from the first time. He's such a nice young man. Always ready to help, always so nice, pleasant, polite. We fell in love with him, and we really appreciate him, the way he treated us and our family members. So it's with happiness in my heart to welcome you into our family. We're so excited to have him. We have a new son now. And it's great. And this day was wonderful in every aspect, and we're so thankful for each and every one of you to have come and taking the time to celebrate this wonderful day. So thank you so much to each and every one of you. You're very special, and we're thanking you. Now, you better say
Well, I'll say what I have to say, and I will, je vais essayer en français aussi. And Suzanne will help me if it's not all that accurate. First of all, if you've ever had the experience of uprooting yourself, you know that in that process of uprooting, that tearing process, roots get left behind. And so tonight I want to cross time zones, time, decades, cultures, languages, geography, and go back and touch those roots. Because I uprooted myself twice, in 1978 from Singapore to come here, and in 1995 I uprooted myself from Quebec to go to the Maritimes, to Nova Scotia. So bear with me, I will cross those languages, cultures, and say some things, go and touch those roots, then I'll come back and say what I said in English, the language I'm most comfortable with. Vela aya ranga wala, ranga naal parya umanga wala. Soniye खुशियां ना संभाल जानियां। मैं पहला मेरे अपने नूं कहना चाहना कि जेडे मेरे सामने बैठे आ ते जेडे दूर तुसी हमेशा मेरे दिल विच हो। मैं कदी भी नहीं तुहानू भुल्लिया। ते जैस ते एलेक्स नूं मैं ये कहांगा कि मैं पूरे विश्वास नाल तुहानू दोनों नूं कहना कि ये जोड़ी रब दी बनाई हुई है। संत मती ने क्या है, इसलिए अगों तो जाके ये दो नहीं बल्कि एक हैं। इसलिए जिसने परमेश्वर ने जोड़िया है आदमी वक्त ना करे। सो आनंद मानो इस मौके दा बड़ी खुशी आ कि तुसी इत्थे हो। En français. Soyez patient avec moi. J'aimerais juste premièrement dire un beau, voyez-vous, dire un beau, vous souhaiter le bienvenue. Surtout pour la famille de Suzanne, en particulier Madame Belle-Mère, Madame Rita Leroux, mes beaux-frères avec toutes les parentés de côté de Suzanne qui sont ici. Également du côté de Alex, la famille d'Alex, les parentés d'Alex. Et j'aimerais juste dire à Alex et Jess que moi je sais sans aucune doute que cette union était bénie par le Dieu. Dans la parole de Saint Matthieu, dans le 19e chapitre, dans le 6e verset, c'est écrit « Ainsi, vous n'êtes pas deux, mais un seul être, que l'homme ne doit donc pas séparer ce que Dieu a uni. » In English, first of all, I want to welcome all of Jessica's close friends, and you heard Kimberly and her, what she said of Jessica. I always wish I had 1/10 of the good close friends that Jessica has, because a running joke in our household is I have no friends. So I want to hear my soul. I talked about a soul friend, soulmate. She's my soulmate. But I wish she has a way of cultivating this deep-spirited friendships that I don't know how to do, and I'm still working at it. I'll get there. So I want to welcome all close friends of Jessica. If you're here, it's because you are near and dear to her, as Kimberly expressed. And to Alex and Jessica, I just want to say that I know without a shadow of a doubt, that this union has been blessed by Almighty God. And in the words of Matthew 19:16 from the Apostle Matthew, it says, "Therefore, they are no longer two, but one. So what God has joined together, let no man put asunder." Thank you.
That's what it says.
Oh, okay. Trilingual speeches, yes. Yeah, stop.
Okay, sorry. Eating it?
Yes. Gently. Uh-oh. There you go. There you go. You guys really want to see this? It's really good.
All right, so now it's time for the.
Just tell them to sit for 2 more minutes. Just a few more minutes.
Okay, you can take a seat for another few minutes. Most of you are sitting anyway, so.
Not to wait.
Oh, not to wait. I'm sorry.
Am I speaking Dutch?
Lost in translation.
Nothing, just go ahead.
Alice is gonna talk to you.
Kevin, could you pass me my napkin, please? Sure. All right.
It's mine, if you don't mind.
Nope.
I don't mind, so.
I'll just, I had a thing earlier. Nah.
Thank you. Sorry.
Alright.
Something right there.
I'm saving it for later. Alright. Everyone's just waiting for me to say something really sentimental. So thanks everyone for coming. Thank you, Moni and Suzanne, for your kind words. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for embarrassing me about my mechanical skills to everyone. Appreciate that. Thank you, Kevin, for not following through on that promise to tell people stories. I really appreciate that. And Suzanne and Moni, I just want to share with you my impression of when I first got to meet them. So I got to learn a little bit about them before we met in October. And one thing I learned about Moni was that he was trained as a sniper in Singapore. I think you can all understand that I was a little bit nervous when I met him, for obvious reasons. Now, Suzanne, on the other hand, found out that she could make me feel awkward really easily, and it was her favorite thing to do. So she would play a game where she would see how often she could make me blush, which worked until I got too comfortable with her. And now that I'm finally in, I don't have to hold back anymore, Suzanne, so watch out. As nervous as I was before I met them and when I did finally meet them, I always felt welcome, and I always had something to do. I was never left out. And for those of you who know me, I like keeping busy, and sitting in a living room would have bored me. And Suzanne made sure I had lots to do, and I really appreciate that. I'd like to thank my parents for me. Quand j'ai grandi, vous avez toujours fait sûr que j'avais qu'est-ce que j'avais besoin pour grandir, pour mettre mes racines, qu'elles soient fortes. Vous m'avez toujours encouragé, même quand j'étais vraiment ambitieux, vraiment trop ambitieux, comme avec des freins d'un ami que je connaissais pratiquement pas. Vous étiez toujours là quand les choses allaient pas bien, comme avec les freins de mon ami, de Jess. You were always there when I was really overly ambitious in everything I've ever done. Like the time I wanted to change my friend's brakes, who was Jess's, and you were always there when I failed miserably and were there to save my tail and made me look not totally nerdy and bad to my little bit? Okay. Well, thank you very much for making me the kind of person that Jess would think is neat. That's okay. The next thing is I've had a few comments Thursday, getting things ready, Friday. Today I've gotten about 20 comments about how beautiful everything is, how beautiful the arrangements are, how beautiful all the ideas were for the wedding, how beautiful I am looking. And all of those are brainchilds or something that my shiny new wife, Jess, did herself. And she didn't stop, she got everything done, and this is what it was. And I think she deserves a huge We're not actually sure how we started dating. That's a true story. We tried to remember because we were getting married and we wanted to figure it out, but we don't know. But we worked together one summer, and before we started dating, I already knew a lot about you. You are a hard worker. You're always... One of us was always willing to take breaks, and the other was always willing to work straight through, and I think you can guess which was which. You're a kind, loyal, fierce friend, and you're also sharp as a whip, which usually gets turned on me. but all in good fun. And I think everyone can agree, so does Jess on a regular basis, that she's really awesome.
I got that from Kelly.
Thank you, Kelly. Before I met Jess, the idea of settling down with someone and having kids was this faraway thing that, you know, happens later in life. And as soon as I met Jess, all of a sudden it was this real thing that I was looking forward to and couldn't wait. And even today, I'm really excited. I'm probably gonna pass out tonight, but I can't believe I get to marry my best friend and have kids and a farm and spend the rest of my days with her. I think we can all toast to how awesome Jess is. Everyone, you all know it's true. Cheers. I'm going to wrap this up and I'm going to stop rambling as I'm known to do. And I'd like to thank one other very special person in my life. I've known them for almost 9 years. And we've grown really close, and that person is my best man, Kevin.
Thank you.
And he told a story about the first time we met. And the first thing I remember about when we met was we started talking about how awful it would be if we got a weird roommate. Somehow implying that we were both really normal and we were so proud of ourselves. I think that just about says it all. But when you get to spend... When you spend 5 years living together, you go through pretty much every situation, from super awesome fun time with poutine to incredibly awkward with file not found.
Yeah.
And everything in between. So here's a cheers to Kevin for being my best friend and my best man moving forward. Now this is what you've all been waiting for. The lovely Jess is going to serenade you with a song. Here's Jess.
Now I'll keep it brief because it's getting hot in here. I'm hot under this dress. But I just want to thank you guys all for coming so much. This day wouldn't be half what it is if you all didn't come here, and we really appreciate it, and we really appreciate all those that helped and made this a success. It might have been my brainchild, but I could have done it without all the hard work that everybody put in, from just, you know, the kind words of support to, you know, helping out and asking what people could do, and I really, really appreciate it. We have people here from all the way from Thailand. My aunt came all the way from there. She trekked all the way here just for this one day, and that means so much to me. And yeah, and so many people. We have a whole bunch of people from Montreal, my family, and j'apprécie vraiment que vous êtes venus, puis je suis tellement contente de vous voir, puis merci beaucoup d'avoir fait le trajet. Alex's family from Windsor, it's a far way to come, and we really appreciate that you came all that way. It means the world to us. And yeah, thank you so much. So some specific people, I guess yesterday, a whole bunch of people lent a hand. I just want to thank Sony and Adrian and people that I kind of didn't expect that just kind of lent a helping hand. My Aunt Pudgy, my Auntie Goga. It was so great, and Chantel and Danielle, it was so great of you guys just to pitch in, and I really, really appreciate it. To Jill and Donna, I have always felt like one of your children, and that has been such a huge blessing. And it's been so humbling in my life, and I really appreciate you guys. I know I could always call on you, and I said I wasn't gonna cry. I was like, am I talking really fast? That was my strategy.
That's a pretty big notebook.
There's nothing in it. It's not as cool as Kim, so I don't even know why I brought it up. Thank you so much. You've already been like a second family to me, and today is just the official statement of that, and I love you guys so much, and I'm really excited to have 2 extra sisters, so it's really exciting. Who else? Miranda, thank you so much for taking us on. Miranda had to jump through so many hoops to make our wedding legal. It's insane. Our friendship. And Michelle, we've been friends for almost, I don't know, over a decade, or since we were 16. And we've just grown together and been through so many life's milestones together, and I'm just so glad that we can share this one together, and you mean so much to me, and your family has pretty much adopted me over the years, and you've become like a sister to me, and I just really want to thank you for that, and thank you for your friendship and for all your help and support. It means the world to me, guys. So yeah, now I'll stop crying, and we can have some dessert. Oh, and Kira's gonna give you some final instructions.